Hello everyone and welcome to Software Engineering here at the University of Bath. My name is Neil Langmead. Today in this short lecture, or rather a demonstration, I'm going to talk a little bit about AI agents for software engineering, focusing on a very common platform called Replit, and I'm going to give a short demonstration of what I believe is state-of-the-art capabilities for AI agency as applied to software engineering at this time. So I'm going to briefly just talk about the vibe coding phenomenon that is rampant in our industry at the moment, some dangers of vibe coding that I can see, especially relating to safety, security and quality, and then a demonstration of Replit as an AI agent to ideate and to produce a conceptual plan, to produce a design, and then to produce a working implementation of the software, and just talking about the workflow as well. And before we begin, just a few words about vibe coding really. We've seen a massive explosion of growth of no or low code platforms. This in some ways has democratized software engineering. It's now made available software engineering to the hands of the non-technical, non-specialists, and now a single founder potentially can use vibe coding or no or low code platforms to create an idea and to create a working version of the software that implements that idea without necessarily having a software engineering team. Now that has implications for us as software engineers. It might well be putting some of us out of jobs, but in practice, what I believe to be the case is that those software engineers who have AI skills will be the ones who are in demand, those who can leverage these platforms to create prototypes and then identify the gaps that the AI cannot fulfill at the moment. And I believe there are several, which I'll talk about. Those people are going to be equipped with the latest skills that will be highly relevant in the workplace. Vibe coding has been used to create apps, as I say, prototypes, full implementations, essentially through advanced prompt engineering. So guiding the AI through a prompt interface with refinements in an iterative loops to create the desired results at the end. Replit is one such platform to support this. The AI agent that Replit provides is available to perform requirements analysis, designing and coding and testing, and also deployment. These platforms have the ability to deploy the apps as well. So just a quick deeper dive into Replit as an AI agent. Replit makes apps and websites and deploys these apps and single page applications, SPAs. You can tell Replit to build the app for you automatically. You can give it your ideas, you can give it the requirements, and it's similar to having an entire team of software engineers on demand, really. That's the vision of Replit. They're ready to build what you need, and again, it's all through simple chat and natural language prompts. So without further ado, let me jump to the platform, and you can see replit.com or repl.it also gets you there. Once you have logged in, you can log in with different credentials. You can log in with the university credentials and create a login. I've logged in with my GitHub handle so that the code that's generated can automatically be connected to GitHub. You can also log in with a Microsoft account or Google account. There are various ways to create that account at the beginning. Now it says, what do you want to make? So a while ago in the department, we reserved the domain name bath.taxi. So the .taxi domain is for taxi drivers and people in the taxi industry. So why not create a ride-sharing application for Bath taxi and ride-hailing capabilities, right? So similar to existing providers in the city. I'm thinking Uber or Vizu. And maybe you've been through some user elicitation and seen a gap that those service providers are not reaching. We're now going to create bath.taxi. So in this initial interface, I'm just going to describe at a high level, I would like to create a ride sharing app, maybe even similar to competitors and Vizu, with the same use cases. For the City of Bath, please design and implement the complete app and website. I have the domain name, bath.taxi reserved. Bath.taxi reserved. Okay, so I'm going to send this to the agent, and it may not develop the whole app for me because this is more of a single page application, but in terms of ideation, certainly it's going to at least create the plan for my ride sharing platform, covering the essential features, keeping it manageable. And now it's called this Bath Mobility, and it's making an implementation plan. And I'm just going to let that over a few iterate those requirements. The initial version is a ride-sharing platform with a booking interface, a driver portal, and mocked real-time features. And you can see it's working to design the visual preview for me. Let's have a look at some more features. Some of these features are mocked initially. We can come back to those. We can work on these features later. It's given me some options to integrate real-time tracking and mapping. I definitely want those. And it's going away and it's designing the app for me. And I like this plan. I'm happy with this plan. So I could edit this. I could actually say, please implement all of these things. But for now, I'm just going to approve this plan. And it's even selected a picture of Bath for me. And you can see it just how quickly, how amazing this is being developed in real time. Here is my bath.taxi visual preview. And there we go. It's looking the reliable rides, the ride request form, and the estimated fare calculator. So I'm going to approve this plan. And now the agent is going into thinking mode. And it's going to start implementing this design that it's come up with. So the agent is doing all the work. I literally have just started with that high-level prompt. And from that, it's already given me a preview. It's now going to deploy its own tech stack, which is a modern web app, a Postgres database, authentication, and it's going to come up with an initial version. It's also offering to link to a custom domain, to an app, to deploy it, so that it's taking care of the deployment side of things as well. And then it's determining the next step. So this is an advanced agent that is thinking through the workflow, thinking through the design, and thinking through these use cases. I could have been much more specific. I could have actually defined the requirements myself and come up with a requirements.txt file, pass that to the tool. I would have got different results the more specific I had been. However, it's using its own knowledge of what it's been trained on with comparisons to the likes of Uber and extracting use cases from essentially clones of Uber and putting that from its knowledge base into its own agency. So it's going to think, I'm going to pause this, I'm going to accelerate the flow here and come back once it's finished thinking. Okay, so after about 16 minutes of work time, we see that the agent has finished its work. So approximately just over 15 minutes it's taken to set the code structure up, the user interface for the ride-sharing platform. There are 4,100 lines of code. And by the way, by way of estimate, we always used to say that in a day, we could reckon with about 400, 500 productive lines of code, production-ready lines of code. Where I was first employed at IPL in Bath, we can see here already 4,000 lines of code generated in 15 minutes. The potential to generate lines of code is significant in a full day. However, I need to caution you here, nobody has evaluated the quality of these lines of code. We haven't done any security analysis or due diligence. We don't even know whether we have the copyright for these lines of code. Has this code come from its own training data? Is it based on other people's inputs into that training data? Well, I can see a lot of TypeScript that's been developed. Again, is that boilerplate TypeScript? Is it coming from some other provider? I need to kind of carefully think about the legal, ethical aspects of the software that the AI agent has created. However, it's very impressive. As you can see, I have a working prototype done within a short space of time. The cost to me of this development is $1.33 as well. So it's told me how much it's cost to develop those 4,000 lines of code. And you can see what it's done. It says it's now running. It's completed the full stack architecture with authentication. I have a database, complete booking and tracking interface. Please test the application by visiting the landing page and exploring the features. So if I now go to the deploy, I can approve the deployment architecture here, and it will now go through and it will deploy or try to deploy the app that's been developed. It will provision it. I think it uses Docker containers underneath to create an abstracted build, and then bundles that with npm and promotes that to the Replit IT server. And I can also connect it to a domain and customize that domain and link it to my bath.taxi domain, which is where my main interface to customers is going to be. So I'm going to let that process complete and then come back with some concluding words. So the deployment has finished, and here's my domain, which I can edit, but at the moment it's Bath Mobility NOL30 replit.app. So if I now go to what it's built, I can see that it's built my front end, and I have sign-in capability, get started, my pickup location, destination, and book now or learn more. I'm not sure how much functionality has been implemented underneath this, but let's see what happens when I click get started, for example. Okay, so there's some configuration there that I can access the account, and okay, it's creating an account for me. I can book a ride, schedule a ride. This all looks to be quite complete. I've got the rating system, popular destinations, Bath Spa, Bristol Airport, the university. I can book my first ride, and it looks pretty functional to me, even at this first iteration. And bear in mind, this is the first iteration for Replit applied to my use case. And once again, I only started with that high-level prompt, and look what it's created for me. I can become a taxi driver here, and now I could actually iterate with the model and put the details that I want here if I want any changes, and start interacting with the agent and getting more towards what I wanted to do based on my own requirements. Remember, I only gave a very general prompt, and so it's pretty impressive what it's been able to generate already just from that single prompt. So that's Replit. Let's go back to the slides. Try it yourself. You can sign up to Replit via this link. Use the free credits to build a sample application like I've done. I've also booked the domain bath.rent if anyone wants to build a rental platform to help with the rental crisis that is currently going on in Bath. Feel free to contact me and use that domain. Examine the generated code, test the generated application in the way that I've just done, and then try to evaluate the software agent's performance. How many iterations did it take to get you what you expected? Look at the software economics, look at the numbers of lines of code that's been generated, but what about the code quality? What about the architecture? What about things like testing and security? Did the agent do enough of that in this initial prompt, or do I need to instruct the agent to do more testing? And requirements analysis, requirements refinement, goal refinement. Now I have the connection to the agent, I can actually iterate and get better and better with my intended functionality for this application. So I hope this demo has been interesting. Go away and try it, and take care that vibe coding isn't all what it's made out to be, but it is a massive leap in productivity and engineering capability. I myself am not a TypeScript engineer, and yet I've been able to build a TypeScript application during the course of this lecture. Do go ahead and try it out and evaluate critically the code that's generated from the Replit application. And above all, have fun, use your creativity. Love to see what you create with this application. And thank you for listening, and we'll see you again next time. Bye-bye.